Hello, this is David Allen and you are watching Sporting Icons.
Now, I've seen over like the last week or so about Anthony Joshua mentioning the name Luis Ortiz. So, listen, first of all, I'm cool with that fight. If they announce it, I'm perfectly cool with it. But the thing is, though, is that Anthony Joshua didn't just mention Luis Ortiz. This was mentioned in a way of what fighters could Anthony Joshua fight if he didn't get Wilder or Fury. And he said, well, there's Luis Ortiz, there's Big Baby Jarrell Miller, or there's Dillian Whyte. So he actually mentioned three names. So he didn't just specifically call out Luis Ortiz and go in one. And again, you guys can find that on the DAZN channel here on YouTube. So again, a lot of people are saying, and I've just been on somebody's live feed just now, which I'm not going to mention them because my goodness. I mean, if they swing on Wilder's nuts anymore, Wilder's going to be having some severe pain down there, really. Anyway, so they're going with the whole narrative, AJ finally calls out Luis Ortiz. Well, no, AJ hasn't just finally called out Luis Ortiz. In fact, he offered Luis Ortiz a contract to fight him after he fought Takam. But Luis Ortiz didn't want to do that. He wanted to go fight Wilder, get the WBC belt, and then come face Anthony Joshua. Why? Because he has more on the table. So Luis Ortiz was given the option to fight Anthony Joshua after AJ defended his IBF world title against his mandatory Carlos Takam. Originally it was supposed to be Pulev, but as I said, Luis Ortiz didn't want to do that. So anyway, subsequently, Luis Ortiz, he failed the PED test because he didn't put the high blood pressure medication on the forms when he went to fight Wilder. So that fight got pulled. The WBC didn't suspend him, but the WBA did. Personally, I think the WBA should not have. That's my honest opinion. I thought that it was unfair that they dropped him from the rankings for it. But ultimately, he did decide to not wait for his mandatory shot. So AJ did offer him a contract. Eddie Hearn openly said this, okay? Listen, you don't have to believe Eddie Hearn or anything, but this is what was going on because the WBA was saying that Luis Ortiz versus Anthony Joshua has to happen. Then they subsequently dropped Luis Ortiz because of the PD test. So there's that one. Again, a lot of people are saying, well, I say a lot of people, the Wilder fans, of course, are saying that Luis Ortiz should get a title shot ahead of Dillian Whyte. Reason being, Joshua, Dillian Whyte have already fought. Anthony Joshua already beat him. Okay, now first of all, that was quite a while ago. Both of these guys were raw novices. There's that one. And since then, both guys have improved dramatically. Dillian Whyte has had a fantastic 2018. Absolutely fantastic one. Undefeated former world champion Lucas Browne. Rate him or not, these are the facts. Joseph Parker, former world champion, only lost one fight to Anthony Joshua when he became the first guy to go the distance with Anthony Joshua. Dillian Whyte dropped him twice and beat him on points comfortably. Yes, he did get dropped in round number 12, but he did enough to win the fight. Then he put an end to the saga of Derek Chisora for huge money. Okay, it's a fight that the British public wanted to see. Derek Chisora came off a great win over Carlos Takam and so on. So these people who say Luis Ortiz deserves more of a shot against Anthony Joshua than Dillian Whyte. On what planet do you work that out? So when you compare the resumes, okay, Dillian Whyte well and truly outdoes Luis Ortiz. Well and truly. Luis Ortiz has a loss on his record in 2018. Dillian Whyte does not. Dillian Whyte has 3 wins on his resume. All of these guys were top 15. In fact, Derek Chisora was ranked number 11. Joseph Parker was ranked number 5. And Lucas Browne was ranked number 13. So all of these guys are ranked top 15 in the world. Okay? So how is it that Luis Ortiz, he loses to Wilder? Listen, personally, I think that he got screwed in that one, personally, especially round number 7 and the extra time at the beginning of round number 8 in favour of Wilder. Yes, I get that point. But on what planet does Luis Ortiz, who lost only 2 fights ago, then fought Razvan Kajanu, and then fought Travis Kaufman, deserve a shot at Anthony Joshua? As I said, I'm not hating on that fight. If that fight happens, I'm cool with it. But I'm just saying that Dillian Whyte deserves an opportunity for a world title more than Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz has already had one this year. Dillian Whyte has never had a world title shot. Never. So again, people say that Dillian Whyte, he ducked Luis Ortiz. This seems to be the thing on this other live stream channel that I was listening to. Just shaking my head at the complete bias. People call me biased, but come on now. Listen, Dillian Whyte said to Luis Ortiz, I will fight you at the O2 Arena, okay? December the 22nd at the O2 Arena. Come on over. Luis Ortiz said, okay, cool, let's do that. Luis Ortiz's own manager, Jay Jimenez, who I like a lot, said he did not want that fight. He didn't want it. Either way, Luis Ortiz wanted Dillian Whyte on Wilder Fury undercard. Luis Ortiz is perfectly happy being an undercard fighter rather than a headliner. Okay? But he already had a deal in place with Travis Kosman. We knew this for a long time. Dillian Whyte was negotiating with Derek Chisora, but it looked like Derek Chisora was playing hardball, so Dillian Whyte was looking at other avenues. Luis Ortiz was one of them. Luis Ortiz didn't want to come over. Yes, he put out on social media that he wanted to, but his own manager said they don't want the fight yet. They don't want it. So no, Dillian Whyte did not duck Luis Ortiz. In fact, he fought Derek Chisora in arguably an easier fight, I think that's probably fair to say, and probably made double the amount of money than what he would have done to fight Luis Ortiz. So it's a smart business move from Dillian Whyte, okay? And again, people say, but Dillian Whyte struggled against Derek Chisora. At what point was Dillian Whyte in any kind of trouble in that fight? At what point? The same people who are saying that are the ones who are the Wilder fans where Wilder is always losing until the knockout. He's never winning on points. Ever. Yes, the judges have him up, but realistically, we know that he's losing the damn fight by a landslide. But ultimately, he gets the knockout. Dillian Whyte did exactly the same. Yes, he may well have been losing that fight. Personally, I don't think so. I think he was just edging it. Only just. Depending on how round 11 and 12 went, would have determined as to what my final scorecard would have been. And yes, it was super, super close. But Dillian was playing the patient game. He was showing maturity in that fight. He could have got Derek Chisora out of there in the first round, but decided not to because he didn't want people saying, well, that was an easy fight, you ripped the public off, and you blasted him out real easy. What a waste of money for a pay-per-view. So he gave the fans some entertainment. Either way, it worked out for him. He got a spectacular knockout in round number 11. What has Luis Ortiz done in his career? Outside of get beat by Deontay Wilder. As I said, controversial for sure. But what is it that Luis Ortiz has done? The biggest name on his resume, Tony Thompson, who was what? Come on now. Or Malik Scott. Malik Scott, the guy who got hit on the gloves by Deontay Wilder and went down like he was shot. But he went the distance with Malik Scott. He nearly went the distance with Dave Allen. Then he gets beaten by Deontay Wilder. Actually, he fought somebody else in between then. I forgot the guy's name. It's the same guy that Bryant Jennings beat the fight before. Then after he loses to Wilder, he takes on Razvan Kajanu. Then he takes on Travis Kaufman. On what planet does Luis Ortiz deserve a title shot? Listen, I get the point where people say, but it's somebody different. I get that point. And I'm not hating on the fight, not at all. AJ versus Ortiz is a decent fight. Of course it is. But Dillian Whyte deserves more of a shot than Luis Ortiz. People can say, but Joshua already beat him. Okay, that was when did he beat him? At what stage in their careers did he beat him? Dillian Whyte now is a improved fight. Dramatically improved. Listen, so is Joshua. Luis Ortiz is on the slippery slope. It just is what it is. Luis Ortiz, yes, he does deserve a title shot. I'm not going to say that he doesn't deserve a title shot, but I'm saying that he doesn't deserve it more than Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte does. And the same channel who was talking about it saying, well, we've already seen that fight, so Dillian Whyte should fight Deontay Wilder. He's a huge Deontay Wilder fan. But Deontay Wilder turned down Dillian Whyte. He turned down $8 million to take on Dillian Whyte. He sent Dillian Whyte a private text message saying, I don't have to fight you and I can freeze you out for 2 years. This is the guy who you say Dillian Whyte should fight Wilder. Come on now. Wilder don't want him. He's frightened to death of Whyte. Scared to death of him. Luis Ortiz, he only fought him because he knew that Luis Ortiz was gone. He wasn't match fit. He fought him 1 hour before the walkout. Luis Ortiz was failing the medical. He had to get special clearance to walk to the ring 1 hour before their fight. That guy is the guy who nearly put Wilder out of commission in round number 7. That guy. Wilder then fought Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury, who's been out for how long, put on how much weight, put what up his nose, food in his system, alcohol, depression, boxing license removed, all that kind of stuff. Come back, fought 2 taxi drivers and beat Wilder. Wilder got a gift draw decision out of it. Wilder, who defeated Jason Gavin to get his world title shot, because he didn't want to jump in with Vitaly Klitschko when Klitschko was champion. No. He wanted to wait and keep on knocking off cherries like Jason Gavin and then get a world title shot. But Dillian Whyte doesn't deserve a title shot? Luis Ortiz deserves a title shot more than Dillian Whyte. Come on now. This is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, for me, as I said, and for a lot of people, and I'm sure Dillian Whyte understands as well, that AJ's priority is Wilder, undisputed. If he can't get him, then he wants Tyson Fury. Why? Because a lot of people are putting a lot of emphasis on the lineal, and for the fact the Ring Magazine title would be on the line if Joshua and Fury fought. Then Dillian Whyte is next in line. Not Luis Ortiz, not Big Baby Jarrell Miller. The only way these two come into that equation is if they can't negotiate with Dillian Whyte. That's the only way. Dillian Whyte deserves a title shot more than Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz has a loss in 2018. Dillian Whyte has had a fantastic 2018. And he would beat the stuffing out of Luis Ortiz. I'm telling you right now, he would beat the stuffing out of Luis Ortiz. He would stop him in the first half of the fight. He would steamroll him. And that big left would land, Ortiz would go down, the dust would fly out of his bones, and that'll be it. Personally, I would love to see Whyte versus Ortiz, but I don't think Ortiz wants it. I really don't. He had an opportunity to come headline. He could have jumped in. Wanted way too much money. Preferred to fight on an undercard. Anyway, so Anthony Joshua calls out Luis Ortiz. Kind of, but not really. He just mentioned his name among others. Drop your thoughts below, click the thumbs up, and of course subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.